You grow up on the south side of Chicago, watching men do the right thing and die with nothing. Your father unloads freight at the rail yard 6 days a week, comes home with hands that look 20, years older than his face, and dies at 52 of a heart that just gave up. He never stole anything. He never hurt anyone. He left you $11 and a pocket watch that doesn't run. You are 17 years old, standing at his graveside in February sleet thinking, not like this. Whatever this life costs, it won't cost me that. That's the calculation that puts you here. Not ideology, not glory, not God. Just a 17-year-old kid doing math at a graveside and deciding that honest poverty was the one thing he absolutely could not afford. By 20, you're running numbers on the near, north side. By 23, the $482,000 mail train robbery gets you noticed by people who matter. And then one afternoon, a man with a 3-inch scar on his left cheek shakes your hand and offers you a different kind of work. You know the scar. Everyone knows the scar. Johnny Galluccio put it there in a Brooklyn bar in 1917 over an insult to a woman Galluccio was with. 3 cuts. Left cheek, jaw, neck. And what did Capone do? He hired Galluccio afterward, paid him $100 a week. No grudge, no revenge. Just, you hurt me, and you're useful. So now you work for me. On your worst days, you look at that scar and wonder what it means that the man who hurt him most is now the one standing closest. You push the thought down and go to work. The Lexington Hotel is a city inside a city. Suite 530, lavender bathtub, gold fixtures, pea green mosaic tiles. You occupy a room 4 doors down. Visitors pass through 3 rooms of frisking before they reach Capone's floor. The elevator cage is lined with bulletproof sheet metal. There are 10 secret tunnels connecting to nearby taverns. You learn all of them in your first week, the way a surgeon learns anatomy because one day your life will depend on it. The 20th of September, 1926, Hawthorne Inn, Cicero. You're eating lunch when a car rolls slowly past and fires through the windows. You don't move. You recognize the trick immediately. First car always fires blanks. A decoy designed to make the target stand up and look. Capone starts to rise from his chair, and you're already moving, throwing yourself across the table, driving him to the floor with your full weight. The second car comes, then the third, then 6 more. A convoy of 8 vehicles pouring over 1,000 rounds into the building over approximately 90 seconds. Glass, plaster, wood. The sound is something that lives in your chest long after your ears stop ringing. When it's over, not a single Capone man is dead. He owes you everything after that. He knows it. He never forgets it. What loyalty gets you? $500 a week, custom suits, a car, hotel rooms. You eat at the best restaurants in Chicago, and nobody ever brings you a check. You sit 3 chairs from judges and police commissioners who pretend not to see you. The glamour is real. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. But 2 years later, Capone tells you about 3 men, Anselmi, Scalise, and Giunta, who have been meeting in secret. Planning something, he needs to know for certain before he acts. He needs you to help him find out. What follows is the thing that doesn't leave you. You stage a performance. A fake argument with Capone loud enough for the right people to hear, convincing enough to suggest a fracture, an opening. You even slap him across the face. You look at that scar while you do it, the 3 cuts Galluccio left, and you feel the full weight of what you're participating in. The 3 men take the bait. They talk. And then Capone hosts them at a dinner, where he beats all 3 to death with a baseball bat before having them shot. You knew what was coming. You helped set the table. You tell yourself loyalty required it, that the alternative was being on the wrong side of that bat. Every justification sounds reasonable until 3 a.m. when it doesn't. The threat that ends everything doesn't carry a gun. Frank Wilson, IRS, 36 years old, unremarkable looking, lives in room 724 of the Lexington Hotel for months. He has been tracking cash flows through the operation for 3 years. He has a filing cabinet and a pencil, and he is more dangerous than anyone who ever came through the hotel with a weapon, and you never see him coming. Capone is convicted of tax evasion in 1931, 11 years federal. The empire dissolves in months. You die at 39. Heart failure. Frankie Rio, who threw himself across a table into 1,000 rounds of gunfire, without flinching, is killed by the same organ that killed your father. The pocket watch still doesn't run. McGurn is shot dead in a bowling alley on Valentine's Day 1936. Broke. Forgotten. The irony is not subtle. Capone comes home from prison with the mind of a 12-year-old. Syphilis untreated because he was afraid of needles has eaten through his brainstem by degrees. The most feared man in America spends his final years at the Palm Island estate, babbling, confused, occasionally asking where his mother is. The scar is still on his cheek. He no longer remembers where it came from. Here is what this life actually was. A Southside kid who looked at honest poverty and chose this instead. Who spent 20 years protecting a man from everything that could be stopped with a gun, and watched an accountant do what? No, bullet could. The calculation you made at 17 wasn't wrong. It just had a variable nobody told you about. Were you loyal? Yes. Were you useful? Yes. Were you good? The answer depends on who's telling the story and whether they were in the room when the dinner table got cleared. You took a bullet for someone else's empire. The empire is gone. The bullet never came. Instead, you got a filing cabinet, a cracked heart, and a scar you helped protect that the man wearing it couldn't remember getting. Click here to enter the world of the Cartel Sicario, where the average age on the headstones is 19, and the man who dissolved 300 bodies in acid earned less per corpse than minimum wage.